Back live Monday, 2:00 means Lancaster Connects time. I was just thinking as we were getting ready for the show, maybe I feel like I've put on a few pounds as of late. But looking at that opening,
no,
not so much. Still a lesser man.
No, much lesser man. And congrats to you. It's a lot of work.
It's a work. I'm in a plateau phase right now. That's why I kind of shared that.
Yep. I got you. I'm
in a plateau phase right now. So that's all right. We'll continue going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe we can, slide Chris a 20 and he can switch out the last couple images there.
Yeah, maybe.
For new svelte images.
I don't know that. That's a lot of Photoshop skills.
That's right. That's right.
So, yeah. Anyway, I was just thinking here as we open the show up, it's Labor Day. Right. And we've got all of our Labor Day sales going on. Mm-hmm. Really a lot of great vendor specials. We have our usual specials as always with double deals. But, there was an interesting customer interaction today in that the belief for some customers is that the deal is going to get better the closer you get to Labor Day.
Mm.
No, it's not.
No, it's the same deal now as it is then.
It really is. There is so much that goes into national vendor promotions. All right. So think of like Ford and Chevy. Okay. They roll out their promotion for Labor Day, just like Tempur-Pedic rolls out their promotion for Labor Day. There are thousands, if not tens of thousands of storefronts that need posters and banners and digital assets and marching orders for the promo. They're not going to deploy that something different 5 days from now, 7 days from now, 10 days from now.
Yep.
We're locked and loaded. Our Labor Day sales are the sales. There is no reason to waste time, if you will, coming today and then coming on the weekend and then coming again. And we say that out of love. We love for our customer to get great value. We have those values available now with our Labor Day savings. If now's the time for a new mattress, because today you decided I'm sick of this thing, my back's too sore, I didn't sleep enough last night, it's just time, then make today the time and you'll be okay. And the nice thing is if something were to happen, which hasn't happened, but if it were, just call us up and we'll make it right. That's part of what our Wake Up Happy guarantee is all about.
Yep. And it's perfectly okay to come multiple visits if the intention is to narrow it down to the exact one. If you're letting your body choose and you just need a little bit of time, that's totally cool. But the expectation that it's going to be better closer to Labor Day is or the price is going to be better closer to Labor Day is a faulty way of thinking.
Yeah. It's just there's so much that goes into it. I see it on various consumer forums that I frequent and go on and contribute to. And I just say, listen, there's so much that goes into it. No one, even small businesses, do not have the time to play those kinds of games. Like there's just so many moving parts. And we all just want to serve our customers the best way we know how. And that's helping you find the right fit for our solutions, for your needs, and just getting you a great value. And that's what the Labor Day sales are all about. So that's kind of what I figured I would just share that out this morning.
Love it.
Or this afternoon. So
it is the afternoon.
It is afternoon.
It feels like the morning.
It is afternoon. I feel like I am still catching up from my 2 times back and forth across the country.
You were Las Vegas, back for a few days.
Man, I'm telling
Vegas, you. You're still on like West Coast time.
My sleep schedule has been rocked. It reminds me of when I used to travel a whole lot, but not so much.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I don't know what I did, but I was a much younger man back then. That's like 15, 20 years ago.
My gosh, yeah. I mean, the body and mind and everything can recover a little bit easier when you're 20 years younger, 15 years younger.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Exactly.
Hey, well, this is Lancaster Connects.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a couple of great guests on. We're going to bring them on in a few minutes here. Of course, episode 208 of Lancaster Connects. All of our past episodes you can watch at lancasterconnects.com. Just click on the episodes tab at the top of the page. You can watch Lancaster Connects on the various social media and YouTube platforms. Just search up Lancaster Connects. Subscribe, hit that like and subscribe button. We would love that. Also, you can catch us on all of the audio podcast players Spotify, Apple, anywhere you find your podcasts. Search up Lancaster Connects and you can find us. And again,
we're kind of a big deal.
We are a big deal. Growing, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We are. I was just commenting to Jeff. I'm very involved in booking the shows, and we're now getting a lot of people reaching out almost daily, reaching out to the podcast and say, "Hey, we'd like to be on." We feature conversations with really awesome people in Lancaster doing amazing things in the Lancaster community. And if that's you, if you're listening, watching, and would like to be on the podcast, go to lancasterconnects.com. You'll see the guest tab at the top, or type in /guest after lancasterconnects.com and fill out the simple form on there. Tell us why you'd be a good fit for the show. Tell us who you are, your organization, and why you'd be a good fit for the show. And we'll work to get you on. We are booking into October, November, and December, looking to wrap up the year here with some really great conversations with, again, amazing people doing awesome things here in the community.
So with that, booking into October, if you are a charity that relies on extra give, like get on the schedule now, because that will be very advantageous for your event, because you'll have the half hour to 40 minutes of time we spend together here on the show that we give you that content. You'll have our reels that we give you for being on our show. You'll have audio that you can transcribe and produce whatever you want. We give you everything from your show as a guest for you to use and repurpose. And so we can highlight as much of your efforts for extra give as you want. If you have an end of the year holiday drive, we can focus on that. You tell us what you want us to focus on and make you look great about, and we'll do it. It's pretty simple. There's a lot behind the show, and we kind of like those vendor promotions. There's a lot going on, and we give you a lot more than you might see just as a watcher. So our guests, we show a lot of love to and do a lot of give back to through your time with us. So be strategic and reach out to us that work with what works for your calendar, for your events that you have going on. And we'll work with you to make them look great and produce a nice show for you.
I love it. In that bit, it wasn't a bit, but in that statement, you said the word watcher. Did you have to think to not say watching her?
Almost.
It's in my head now. Every time we say listener, watcher, It's there. Yeah. All right. I digress. We're going to bring our guests on.
Go ahead.
This week, we've got personal friends of mine and friends of the show. We've got Shawn and Maile Smucker, representing Nooks Gallery and Bookshop right here in downtown Lancaster, PA. Shawn and Maile, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
It's great to be here, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I know who you are. I know all about your gallery and bookshop downtown, been inside, been a customer of yours, but maybe the people watching and listening, maybe they're not familiar with Nooks Gallery and Bookshop. So, first question, let's get the ball rolling. What is Nooks Gallery and Bookshop?
Nooks Gallery and Bookshop is located on Prince Street downtown on Gallery Row. We're at the very bottom of Gallery Row. We sell books, mostly books, a few gifts, some toys, and we also normally have an artist who's showing their work in the store, and that artist will be there for a month or two. So we currently have Olivia Stolzfus, who's a local artist, and it's a great way to sort of cap off your trip to Gallery Row as you make your way down Prince Street.
It's 112 North Prince Street. It's one block long, so we're just one block up from the Fulton Theater, same side of the road. And
we're pretty much right at the corner of Orange and Prince, and it's there's a gas station downtown. It's like the only gas station down there, so we're right beside that.
And our little PSA is always do not park in the gas station parking lot.
Because they will tell you, and it's very expensive to get your car back.
I can imagine. Yeah. So Chris has some pictures up here on the screen. Can you tell us a little bit about what the experience is like inside? I mean, it's obviously a bookstore and an art gallery, but maybe just as Chris is scrolling through some of the pictures here, just talk a little bit about a customer's experience maybe in the shop there.
Yeah, sure. So we'll probably get into the details of how we got our shop, but who we kind of inherited it from was a woman named Emma O'Brien, and she just had she has a really whimsical style to how she had a very whimsical style to how she created the bookshop. So I think that's the thing that always kind of sticks out to folks when they come into the shop is that there is a lot of whimsy to it. We carry adult and children's books, so it's not just children's books. But actually, just this past weekend, we had a customer who was she has a bookshop in Germany, and she said, "This is just such a magical place," and that was just like the highest compliment. But somehow it kind of is. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we really wanted to emphasize and to sort of continue the emphasis that Emma had started of imagination, community, and curiosity, creativity. And that's what we're going for. So it did start as a children's bookshop, and we want to maintain that sort of whimsy and fun. But we did then introduce, general market fiction for adults and nonfiction and things like that.
So in the shop itself, the front room that you would walk into is where we have all of our adult fiction books. The middle section is a pretty sizable children's section that we even have like a little play area for kids. We have a little reading nook, a separate little room that's a reading nook, and then in our back area we have all of our nonfiction. And like Shawn said before, we have artwork all over the walls. So it's a pretty great place.
Yeah.
And you've made it beyond that first year of ownership. Yeah, in transition, it looks like. So you're about 16 months, it looks like?
Yeah, we're 16 months, and it's been a challenge. I mean, I know new business owners always have challenges. I don't think, so they started construction just up the street from us after we were there for maybe 3 or 4 months. Basically closing our side of the street, the sidewalk on our side of the street. And that's been rough. We've definitely seen, now that we're in months that we can compare to last year before the sidewalk was closed, we're definitely seeing a drop off. But during that time, we tried to emphasize in-person events to drive people to the shop, and then also connecting more online. So we have a Substack where we write weekly book reviews or just things that we've been reading. We have a podcast where we try and connect with people called So We Bought a Bookshop. The last year has been a good time for us to try and grow those areas. It was also sort of during those first 4 or 5 months, and then once the sidewalk closed, that we really came to the understanding that it has to be about more than books. We can't just be selling books. It has to be about community and creating community in the shop. And so that's been a huge emphasis for us as well. Maile and I are both writers. So we have writers groups, we have book clubs for kids, and we try and keep a lot of events going at the shop just to keep that sense of community alive.
That's awesome. So you mentioned you're both authors. You've been authors, I think, all your probably adult lives, I think. So maybe you could talk a little bit about that, what your lane is for being an author, and then like what made you decide to purchase a bookshop?
Yeah. You want to share a little bit about your writing?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, Maile and I have both been writing for a long time. She was writing since she was a little kid. I started more so probably around college age. I self-published a book called The Day the Angels Fell in 2014, and then it was picked up by a publisher. And so I had 5 novels with that publishing house that came out from like 2017 to 2021 or thereabouts. Mostly magical realism, so books set in the real world with sort of magical elements or otherworldly elements. My first 2 books were YA books, The Day the Angels Fell and The Edge of Over There. And so we have all those in the shop. I make a living co-writing and ghostwriting for other people. And so I've co-written or collaborated on probably 35 or 40 books at this point. And that's what I was doing and still continue to do. But that's what I was doing before we bought the bookshop. And your writing?
Yeah. So my writing has been a little bit more behind closed doors. Just we have 6 kids, and so a good majority of the past 20 years has been me in charge of them, while Shawn's bringing the money in. So, which has been wonderful. But now having the bookshop and having a little bit more leeway now that all the kiddos are in school has given me a chance to do a little bit more writing, and hoping to have my first book out by early next year. So, yeah, it's all good. So really us ending up with our bookshop really happened because all of our kids had gone back to school, and I was really looking for something to do with my time. And Shawn had seen an Instagram post.
Yeah, somebody shared a post that Emma, the previous owner, had put up that she was closing the shop. I had never been into Nooks. Miley had been in a couple of times, and Emma had only recently moved the shop from Queen Street, where she started it in a very tiny location with just picture books. She had just moved it over to Prince Street. And so I hadn't been in there yet, just happened to see a friend had shared her post that she was closing. And I sent the text to Miley and was like, hey, want to buy a bookshop? Like
it's a joke. Like,
yeah, kind of. I mean, we had always talked about that would be something we would love to do.
Yeah.
But one day. Yeah, one day. It definitely wasn't on our radar. And we didn't think that we really even had the bandwidth at this point. We've got 2 kids in college, 4 other kids at home, 2 in high school, 2 in elementary school. It's just a very busy life. We have other kind of small businesses that we do on the side. And so it was more of a kind of a joke, haha, wouldn't this be great? And she immediately texted me back, yeah, what do we got to do? Who do we got to talk to? And so we had a long conversation when she got home, and I reached out to Emma, and that just kind of got the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That's amazing.
Looks like one of your fans, Christina Campbell, looked at the, practicing gratitude in every moment of life, right? Not always easy, but she was grateful that the sidewalk construction looks like gave a jungle gym, if you will, for her time.
Yeah.
Coming into the shop.
That's Christina to a T. We're mutual friends of ours. But yeah, Christina's great at finding the gratitude in everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've had your friends for 2 weeks in a row. I'm gonna get my friends on for 2 weeks in a row.
There we go. Yeah. Babe, we'll
talk football and motorcycles.
Valanda Banks wants to be back on the show, so we'll get.
There we go.
Yep.
There we go. But
go ahead.
So the whole book authoring thing and being connected to a bookstore and owning a bookstore is interesting for me. My uncle, Alan Janakovo, who's local, owns Fox Chapel Publishing, or Fox Chase Publishing, rather, and in Mountjoy, and really is a large company doing a lot of different titles, a lot of different things in the publishing space. I grew up in bookstores. My grandparents had bookstores. My grandmother was a writer. I remember playing tag and hide and go seek with my uncles in the bookstore on Sundays when we had family dinner, and the bookstore was closed. They had the A-frame bookshelves, and I would crawl underneath and hide from my uncles. So yeah, the bookstore always was like this big mysterious thing to me as a kid, because it was, the lights were off. It had windows, but the lights were usually off because it was closed. And we go run around and hide and seek. And then the warehouse, just books and shelves of boxes and books. And my grandparents had tons of books in their home. I mean, just thousands of books. And my grandfather, uniquely enough, I think really is a part of why we do Lancaster Connects and giving back to the community. He had this thing, he pioneered this thing called the book bus. And it was like an old school, think of like a 60s looking, aluminum clad bus. Okay. And he would take this to home shows and expos and fairs. And the thing he did is buy a book, give a book. And he would say, buy a book, give a book for local libraries. But he wouldn't say what libraries it was, because he took those books to the city. He did a lot of work when he lived in Quakertown in Philly with what they called Fresh Air Kids at the time. I don't know if they still run those kinds of programs. They might call it something different. But he had a lot of kids from the city out to his farm in Quakertown. I've got some photos of that. So really neat. So yeah, bookstores go back to my childhood.
Yeah, bookstores and libraries I think they're just really special places, and I think that's why so many people tell us that's my dream. My dream one day is to have a bookshop. I don't think it's really even possible for every person who's said that to us to actually have a bookshop, because so many people, that's their dream. But I feel the same way. When I was a kid, my mom, had two small kids at that point. It was me and my sister. I was probably 6 or 7 years old. And I remember her taking me to a bookstore, especially during the summer when there was really nothing else to do. She would take us to Ridgeview Bookstore, which was over sort of on the other side of Intercourse, PA, over there. And yeah, I'd buy, the next Hardy Boys that I didn't have, or the next Black Stallion, or the next Sugar Creek Gang. And that's really when I fell in love with writing. I mean, and reading, that was, stories at that point in my life became huge. And it was because of that tiny little back country road bookshop.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I do this to Ben all the time. So I hope, it's okay. We may as well just rip that up. His prepared questions. So let's dig into something contemporary. So, obviously AI is here and kids are learning on a screen.
Miley just took a deep breath.
Yeah. With a laptop. What's your take on the whole topic of technology replacing a tangible book in your hand, e-readers versus Audible? What do you feel is a benefit of a tangible book? What do you feel are benefits of being a writer today versus just speaking something out and, speaking out a lengthy prompt and having a book written for you? Let's kind of dig into that topic a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I think, when it comes to technology and e-readers and all those sorts of things, one of our best-selling books at the shop has been Jonathan Haidt's book, The Anxious Generation.
Yeah.
Talking about the impact of technology and social media and all that on kids, especially. I think we're only starting to realize the impact that it's had. And I think we're starting to see that in the schools, in how so many schools are now starting to remove phones and screens from the classroom experience. I'm not anti e-reader. I actually think having a dedicated e-reader, though, is very different than reading on your cell phone or reading on your iPad, where you're constantly getting dinged with messages and, hey, you got a text. Oh, you got an email. Oh, your kid just arrived, here or there. So I think there is something to be said for dedicated e-readers. What's exciting, I think, is that there are now alternatives to Amazon. So like bookshop.org will soon be coming out, I believe, with their own e-reader, or they're partnering with other e-reader companies. They do sell digital books now at bookshop.org. And bookshop.org is great because 30% of every sale goes to the local bookshop of your choice. So we have a lot of customers who can't make it into the shop, or don't like to drive into the city, or live far away. And so they choose us as their local shop, Nooks. And then every purchase that they make, we get 30% of, which is awesome. So I think, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. So I think, as always, there are some great things about technology. But I think also there are some drawbacks that we have to be really careful of. And I think what technology often does, if we're not careful, is it robs us of community. And so that's really where we're trying to combat that with the bookshop. Come in and talk to someone about what books you want to read next, and I know you don't always have time for that, but we've had so many people tell us, I never would have read this book based on my own algorithm. Like, you pulled this book out and I never would have stumbled across this book, and now it's my favorite book, or one of my favorite books. I think Miley can also speak to tell them the story about the guy who came in and talked about AI.
Yeah. So earlier this year, I had a customer and his daughter had come into the shop, and while his daughter was kind of perusing the shelves, he sat in one of the chairs and he said, "So, are you using AI for your business?" And I was like, "Oh, great. Are we going to do this?" Because we're both English majors. AI goes against everything.
Well, using AI in a creative way, to create, to write things, or that anyway.
Yes. So I said to him, "Well, no, we are not." And he then went on to proselytize about the value of AI for a business and how if I'm not using AI to like expand our marketing plan and what we're doing with marketing and how we're choosing our books and all of these like different ways that AI could be helping me, then we weren't going to make it. Like he actually said that other businesses are using AI are going to make it and you aren't. And he was, I mean, from what he said, he works like high up for some tech company or something like that. So I understand, that was like, it's kind of his thing. But he just kept saying, like, if you would go to AI with what you want to do for marketing, it'll give you all of these different ideas. Like it's just like your own marketing manager. And I was like, okay, yeah, no, sounds good. And so we kind of went back and forth about it a little bit. And I just listened. I was like, you know what? I don't know. I truly don't know a lot about AI other than that I hate it. but I was listening to what he was saying. But after he left, first of all, I had such a fear initially, like, oh my gosh, am I really, is it really going to give me something that I can't do myself? And then I started to think about it, and Shawn and I started to talk about it, and we thought, you know what? I think I would rather bring someone on who is excited about my shop and who is excited about marketing, and then let's work together and do that together and see how that goes, rather than talking to a computer, putting prompt in and
just simply to save money.
Yeah. And because that was again and again what he said, this is going to it's going to save you so much time and money. And I just wanted to say to him, you know what? I own an independent bookstore. I'm not in it for the money. Like that if you know any independent bookstore owner, that's not what they're doing. Like that's why we do it. And when it comes to time, I don't know. I'm not convinced that the time that I'm saving is really worth it. So we ended up shortly after that bringing on someone to help us with marketing, and
also as a part-time employee in the shop.
And yes, as a part-time employee. And you know what? It's been such a beautiful experience. I absolutely love it. And I wish that he could come back into my shop so I could say to him, you know what? You're wrong. I mean, at least for us, you're wrong. Like, because for us, it's so much better for me to meet with Lisa every single week, for us to talk about, hey, what are the events that are going on? And what can we get really excited about? And what experience did you have downtown this week that you want me to talk about when I do the Nookish news? Or what was a wonderful experience that you had with a customer that I could share on our Substack page? You know what I mean? Like there's so much more. It's so much more exciting and life-giving to be working with
it's also a blessing for her, like it gives her a little extra income. It gives her an opportunity to work at a place that she loves, and to interact with us, and we have a lot of fun in that regard. So I don't doubt that AI is super helpful for a lot of businesses, and I would just encourage people to think about, how am I using AI in a way that's eliminating community, either from my shop or from my interaction with my customer? Because I actually think that as we get further into this age of AI, and I don't think there's any doubt that it's coming, the businesses that embrace community and the businesses that embrace that personal connection with their customer are actually going to be the ones that thrive. So you can save a lot of money with AI, but I would really caution businesses against using it in a way that does diminish that community.
And to come to that point, to speak to that point, Shawn had shared about our sidewalk being closed, and when that initially happened, I looked at him and I was like, I hope we can make it. I hope that like we can even pay our bills, because there's such a drastic drop off in sales after our sidewalk initially closed. And after we started to implement, more kind of in-store events and really ramped up like our Substack and started our podcast and all of these things. What is saving our shop right now is the community that we are a part of, because they believe in our shop. And
we have people who are on road trips from, Maine to Florida, and they'll drive 2 hours out of the way to come visit Nooks. Or, people from New York who they're going to Baltimore or some other place for, the beach for vacation. They'll drive a couple hours out of the way to come see us. And, that is a result of us reaching out and creating a community both in the area and online. And so, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Time a new model comes out, like ChatGPT as an example, just went from 4.0, not 4.0. So the numeral 4, decimal point O as in Oreo cookie.
Okay.
Oh, I love
Ben.
these.
Now it's at 5, and I think it's 5.0, not O. So I don't understand that nomenclature. But like I've noticed in my work with it, I've had to kind of retrain quite a bit. And so does it save time in that regard? Probably not. Now, an update doesn't come every week. But there's still a time investment in your knowledge of discernment. And then as a learner, you really have to know that stuff. And as English teachers, when you said you were English teachers, I kind of chuckled, because for me, we moved around so much as a kid. Our English units were starting at one school and then wrapping up at the next. And so I'm bad at English. Like my approach to commas is I sprinkle them in like I'm seasoning a pork butt to throw on the smoke. I just sprinkle them in.
You've grown in your comma use.
Yeah. Well, Grammarly's helped quite a bit. But no, I mean, seriously, I just was able to skate along because I didn't get that base knowledge. So that's what I would add to the AI part of our time. But then you're so right about the community thing. I think as AI creates more of this static fuzz, if you think of that old school floor cabinet TV on channel 3 at midnight when all broadcasting went off the air, that's what AI is doing to our connections. And I think stores like yours, even stores like ours, it's not quite on the same wavelength of passion, but we really do work for community. You obviously are a hub of community.
Yeah.
And it's those kinds of connections that are going to be such a breath of fresh air as we march forward in the next handful of years. So good for you for making a great place to hang out and read books. Next question to kind of turn, like, what would you say to parents is the top few reasons or big one reason why they should bring their kids, their learners into your shop?
That's a great question. First off, I think because we need to get our kids away from screens, and we say this from our own experience. It's easy as parents to use screens as babysitters, and they're really good babysitters, actually. Like when you need to get things done, it's like, oh, just go play your video games, But the thing is, I think the more that our children are doing that, we're going to just keep coming back to this topic of community. I think more and more they isolate, and they the screen becomes their interaction with the world. And it's important for kids to be drawn out of that and to be brought into places that they can see are magical as well, that are in the real world, and then be introduced to the power of books. Because I was just talking actually with a middle school teacher on Saturday, and she was saying, I'll have kids come in, into my classroom, and they'll say, yeah, well, I just don't like reading. And she says, every single time I say to them, it's only because you haven't found the right book. And I believe that. I do. I mean, I would say 99% of people. Now, there are some people who reading is truly a struggle. But even in terms of that, like audiobooks, I'm a huge audiobook fan. But I think we as humans are drawn to stories, and we love a good story. And that, I think, is what we can offer in our shop, is this opportunity for parents or caregivers to bring their kids in and experience the power of a good story. Because it is like, stories can be life-changing. I mean, it's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. But a book can change someone's life. And that feels pretty, I don't know, powerful to, like, for us to be at that kind of threshold with people when they walk into our store, and to know that they might pick up something that totally changes the trajectory of their life because of what they're reading in this book. And that's really incredible.
The other fun thing about coming into the shop, I think, I've had some parents, I've actually seen it happen in real time, where parents will have their kids with them, and one of the kids is like, oh, I don't really like to read, or I'm not into books, or, and then as we're standing there, because when you're in that space and you start just picking up books, they get bored. And so they start looking around, and they take this, and then maybe they find a graphic novel, and they didn't realize, oh, actually, you can read graphic novels, or they find a picture book, or, I think being in the space it just encourages that sort of open-ended curiosity and searching. And that, I think, is a difference maker of actually being in and among books.
And also having the spaces to sit with your kids and read it. I mean, that's one of the best parts. Like when I'm sitting at the front desk and I can hear, a father reading a book to his son in our little book nook. I mean, those are
one of my favorites was when there was a woman and her daughter came into the shop, and the woman was probably 65. Her daughter was maybe 30, or, 25 or 30. And they spent probably 2 hours going through the store, finding all their favorites from when she was a kid. And you have this, older woman reading to her grown child. They just take turns. Oh, remember this one? And they read through it. Oh, remember this one? It was really cool.
Yeah. So, and sorry, Ben, I'm just completely wrecking you.
I still have my list.
Okay. All right. we're probably checking off some of it.
Well, no, we absolutely are.
So obviously kids in school, K through 12, have access to a library probably every day. They could get to the library if they really wanted to. And I'm sure a handful in each grade might. What is, not to speak in discount a school library, but what would be something different that gets experienced at your store? And maybe that's something different. Could it be brought into a school library to, again, I think you're the kind of folks that as long as kids are reading, you're happy.
Yeah.
Right. So, so what's that experience that you get at Nooks?
Yeah. So first of all, I love school libraries. I love school librarians. Like, I think there's a special place in heaven for school librarians, especially elementary and middle school. Like it's just such I discovered The Hobbit, Susan Cooper's fantasy series, and when I was in middle school, and those were pointed out to me by a librarian who took the time to figure out what kind of books I liked and pointed me in this direction. And I was just off to the races at that point. So I love school libraries. I think, I'm a huge, we don't have time to go into this in depth, but I just think book bans are ridiculous. And I think that's maybe one of the weaknesses of school libraries, is that they're now sort of being controlled by people who think they know what kids should read or what kids shouldn't read. And I'm all for, obviously, I don't think you should have like YA books in elementary school libraries, but some of the books that are being banned it doesn't make sense to me. And so I think that that's one of the greatest parts about local bookshops, is that it's a free market space where, we're selling books that sell, we're selling books that we love. we're selling books that we think are important. And so sometimes we have books that aren't at the top of the list, but we think they have important themes or things that people should be thinking about. And so I think that's one of the really cool parts about local bookshops. I mean, you have Pocket Books, which I think you guys had on. You've got Red Rose right down the street from us.
Mayhem.
Huge fans of Aaron's books and Liddit's. Mayhem Books now on the corner of King and Orange, or King and Prince. So I think that's really what bookshops specifically bring into a community is a free space, a space that isn't necessarily legislated, and you have access to books that maybe you don't have in public spaces anymore.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about. I just realized we're running up towards the quarter till 3:00. Talk about your events, because you're creating the community space there, and it's a great way to get people into the bookshop to experience everything that Nooks has. I know you've had some fairly prominent authors there. You're featuring artists, which I know I'm guessing your daughter is one of the artists you've featured over the last year. She's an amazing artist. Plug for her there. But talk a little bit about the events. Maybe you hold some regular events, recurring events that happen monthly, and then I know you have some one-off author events that you host there.
Yeah. Do you want to go?
Well, so we have, if you ever go to our website, you'll see the events tab, and that will let you know what's coming up. We have a regular writer's breakfast that meets once a month, where people can just bring in something to offer for breakfast, and we sit around and talk about where our writing journeys are. That's open to anyone. It's free. We also have more of a sort of a dedicated group of creative folks who there's usually a book that you need to purchase to be a part of that group, and then that lasts for 3 or 4 months, and Maile runs that. We have regular story times, which are Thursdays at 10:30, and so those are open, free to the community. And then also, with the events, what we tend to do are bring in authors who we know or who are local or who are, within striking distance of Lancaster. And they've got either a new book out or a book that's coming out. And so they'll come in and chat. We had Shawn of the South, Sean Dietrich. That was probably our biggest event. We 150 people, had to move it up to the community center at Neighbors Cafe. We've had, just a lot of great authors who are willing to come out and kind of donate some of their time to us and to the community. The thing that I love about those events, and again, this comes back to building community, is that so many times we've had people come to those events, these in-person events, and I know them personally from, other places in life. And I know that they're coming into this space very, very different in their beliefs and their viewpoints, especially politics or religion. And I can't really think of any other place right now where people are coming together with these varied kinds of viewpoints. And I think it's so important because we're so divided as a society. But here we have these book events where I know this super conservative guy is coming in, and he's sitting actually literally in the next seat to this woman who I know is very liberal, and they're enjoying this event. And then they turn to each other and they have a conversation about the books that they're reading. And it's such a great watering hole experience. And I really don't know where else it's happening, because so many other places in our society now, we go to our churches where we share theological beliefs, or we go to, this club where we share political beliefs, and we're becoming more and more siloed. But I think that's one of the things I love about Nooks, is that we really try and be a place where everybody feels at home, where everybody sees books that represent them, and where they can bump up against people who they would maybe disagree with in other settings.
I'm kind of smiling because you're out here doing real life bias checking with your shop, right? Like on the AI conversation, you have to always watch for bias. And you're out here with what you just said, that watering hole example, which I loved. You're literally like bias checking and just giving a great experience. Yeah, just come, and there's no doubt we're more connected than we're not. And if it's over a book, on a graphic novel, a book, writing, just, seeing the joy a little kid has by learning something about a book, or liking this character in a story, is just great. And just one last thing on the AI thing to side with Maile. It's interesting. All the great AI books are books. It's kind of ironic in the way that, like, Google AdWords, I'm sure you've gotten the postcard for Google AdWords, a postcard in the mail, $500 bonus of AdWords, right? Like the irony of that.
Right.
Like if it's so great, why can't it just transport into your digital world somehow? It has to be paper and a book on a shelf. So there's tremendous value.
Yeah.
Tremendous value to what you're doing. I digress. Let's get back to your list.
Yeah. Hey, let's wrap up our time with Nooks here. So, you're 14, 15, 16 months in. What's next for Nooks Gallery and Bookstore? Maybe this year, maybe 2026 and beyond. What's on the horizon?
Man.
I would love to get to the place where, Midtown Scholar does such a great job in Harrisburg of bringing in really high quality writers and really fashioning sort of conversations for their community in Harrisburg. And I know they would probably consider us within striking distance of them. And we've been to events at Midtown, but I would love for Nooks to be that in Lancaster, for Nooks to be the place where we can bring in authors that bring along with them really great conversations. I'd also love to see Nooks. I'd like us to become better partners with other businesses in the area. So, we work some with the Row House right now, and Tom Becker does a great job of creating those conversations in downtown Lancaster. So we want to partner more with them. We want to partner more with West Art. Josh is a friend of ours, and I think there's definitely some potential there in the future for us to partner with bringing in great people, and they have an awesome venue there. So I think partnership is a big thing for us in the coming years.
Yeah. Right now, I think the most important thing is that come Christmas, our sidewalk should be open.
Yes.
That's what they're telling us. So we're very, very excited about that. So hopefully in the near future.
Well, and, please do go brave the perilous Prince Street sidewalk construction. But if you can't brave it, and maybe we could have Christina's toddler be your guide.
He would be a willing. Yeah,
what's this young lad's name?
Callum.
Callum. Yeah. Well, what better name for a guide than Callum?
Yep. Yep. He would be more than happy to
get that kid an Indiana Jones hat and let's make it happen. But listen, if you can't get down to Nooks, let's talk again about this. There was a book site that shares 30% of the revenue when they purchase. And what was that again?
It's called bookshop.org.
Bookshop.org. There we go.
And once you go there, you can, it's pretty easy to find how you can choose, your local bookshop. All you have to do is choose Nooks. And then from then on, you choose it once. And then from then on, as long as I guess you're using the same browser, same cookies or whatever, it'll take you back to that. And every purchase you make, we get 30%, which is amazing. And also
looks like over $40 million raised so far for local books.
And at the end of the year, any purchases that were made that did not designate a local bookshop get split up between all the bookshops in the country. So we just got like a sizable check a few weeks ago. That was just kind of a bonus for that. So it's really helpful. If you like a more personal experience, you can always email us hello@nooks.gallery, and we would love to fulfill your order and mail it out to you and give you a digital invoice. We do that as well. But it's just as easy for some folks to hop onto Bookshop.
Yeah. Well, I love all you're doing. I mean, just what you shared there, your connection with bookshop.org, that personal experience, reach out, call, email, connect through social media. I love your Instagram handle, by the way. Nooks with how many O's is that? Like 5?
It's 5 O's. Yeah, that was Emma who had it before us. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. You're not just sitting back, playing what I call Field of Dreams, right? We got an open sign. We should deserve and expect business.
Yeah.
You're out there getting it done. You're over that 1 year threshold. The sidewalk will get done at some point, and that'll be a big day for celebration. Do you have anything like exciting planned for later in the year when like that's done? Like that'll be around Christmas shopping season.
We were just talking about that. I feel like we need to have
We're definitely having a sidewalk party once we
it's for sure.
It's really it's impossible to plan around, and it's something I would love to talk to like the planners in Lancaster, whoever's in charge of this stuff, because any other city you go to, they put up a scaffolding, life goes on, people walk underneath it. I've kind of got a bone to pick about that. You know, these guys are building a 70-unit apartment building, which I think will be great for us down the road. You know, and it'll hopefully be great for Lancaster. But I think I don't know that everyone is mindful of the impact that they have of local businesses when they take on these kinds of huge undertakings. And it has had a huge impact on us. I know
Not
other
just
businesses
us. Yeah.
on the block have struggled, and some have teetered on whether or not they can stay in business. So I do wish that Lancaster would maybe think more about that when it comes to these sorts of things. And my original point was we really have no idea when it is for sure going to end. And so that's another thing. Just the communication hasn't been great. But
we will have some sort of
we will
celebration.
Definitely celebrate when that sidewalk reopens. Yeah.
Well, please let us know. And in the meantime, you know, we've done it at times, like a rundown of like local events and things. I'll put this offer out here. Connect your fellow patrons along the row there. If they've got specials, if they've got news to share that benefits the area and the community, get it to us. You've got our emails. Have them send it to us, and we'll read it out here on the show at least. Do what little part we can. We're happy to do that.
That's great.
For them and for our bandwidth and 10,000 watts of distribution power that Lancaster Connects has. I don't even know if that's big enough for us.
I don't know.
Sounds big.
That's awesome.
But no, you guys are great. I love it. Love what you're doing with your space and your shop. Nooks Gallery and Bookshop right here in Lancaster on Prince Street in the 100 block. 112?
112.
112.
Yep, perfect.
All right. Got a few more minutes for us?
Sure.
Yeah.
Always.
All right. We do our connection cocktail, which is a few questions to get to know our guests a little bit better. Our first question usually asks favorite book, podcast, or TV show you're enjoying right now, but I think we have to limit it to a book.
Oh, yes. You want to go first?
I am reading Angel Down right now by Daniel Krauss. Brand new, just came out a week ago. It's not for the faint of heart. It's taking place during one of the world wars, and the man is, it's rough. Let me put it that way. However, it's about they hear this screaming kind of in no man's land, and a group of them are sent to figure out what this person needs, and they go, and when they arrive, they realize it's an angel, and so that is the story. It is also told in one sentence. So wrap your mind around that. There are no periods, no commas.
Hey,
you would love that, Jeff. No commas.
Perfect. It's perfect. It's like I wrote it.
100%.
Wait.
Did you write a book?
We just revealed my pen name here on Lancaster Connects. I am Daniel Krauss. Then I was going to tell you once I got the check from the publisher.
That is hysterical.
Now that I said it, I can't promise there are no commas, but there are no periods. It's one long sentence. Yeah.
Is that? I mean, that's pretty unique, Shawn, right? Like that.
It's very unique. And as a reader, I think you have to enter it with a very open mind. It took me a while to get used to the format, and you kind of have to switch into, you almost start to formulate your own sentences and like kind of your own blocks of information, because you can't absorb, a 80,000 word sentence. So
that's wild.
Welcome to my world.
I would just have to, reading that book, I would have to think I'm reading an email from Jeff. And then I'd be
that's awesome.
Right in the mode.
Miley, your favorite book.
Oh my goodness. So you were talking a little bit about about health and things like that before we came onto your show. And so I've actually been reading this book called Fast Like a Girl by Dr. Mindy Pelz, and it's about intermittent fasting for women. And it's just like blowing my mind. She's just like, it's all about women's hormones and how they're different throughout a month and how fasting affects that, and how when we can figure all of that out, it's really, truly beneficial to us as women and makes us kind of pretty powerful in our bodies. So I'm loving it. Yeah, it's my kind of thing.
Very cool. I'll make that recommendation to my wife.
Yes, please do.
Awesome. You want to ask next question?
Yeah, dream vacation spot.
Oh, dream vacation. Oh, it would probably be New Zealand. We're huge Lord of the Rings fans. So that's always been like, one day if we could just go there and
see the Shire.
Oh, that would be amazing. Yeah. That would
Very
be
cool. Very cool. Last question. Favorite spot in Lancaster, and we're limiting here. We'll limit it to downtown Lancaster since you're right in the thick of it.
Ooh,
I mean,
self-serving.
There's so many good places. It's so hard to choose. I'm going to go with one off the beaten path that probably not a lot of people have heard of, called Lancaster. What's Tom's place? I always forget.
Downtown Deli.
Downtown Deli.
Yeah.
It's on the first block of Prince Street North. It has the best honey Cajun chicken sandwich, not Cajun, honey curry chicken sandwich. It is a great sandwich place. It's a little bit of a dive, Tom, but I mean that as like the biggest compliment.
Yes.
So I usually head over there, say hello to Tom. He's a great guy, and it's relatively new, so he could definitely use your business.
Downtown Deli?
Downtown Deli.
Downtown Deli.
Yeah. I mean, this feels a little cliche, but I would have to say the Fulton. It makes me feel every time we go to a show there, I feel so like cosmopolitan. Like, look how fancy I am going to this beautiful theater and watching amazing, talented people do their thing. And this year I got season tickets for my birthday. It's been a lifelong dream. And this good man got them for me. So
I had a feeling that hopefully there to your side.
That would be quite a reveal on your show if she was like, I got season tickets from this other guy.
He's hoping for Philly season tickets in return.
I said down the road.
Actually, I would prefer Steelers, but that's
okay.
That might be a bit controversial. I don't know.
No, that's good. I mean,
if you had said Cowboys, we'd have ended the show.
Chris has got his end finger on the button. Right.
Yeah,
that's right. Hey, you all have been just like a gem. This has been a gem of a conversation. Love that you spent some time with us. Love that we got to put some highlight on Nooks Gallery and Bookshop. Go check it out. A lot of cool things going on there. Take your kids, give them a different experience. And I bet you from the time there, you'll see their connection to education and learning and just maybe every part of your relationship with them go up on the upside. And you can check them out. We'll have all their social connections and channels, including their Substack, which maybe you're not even familiar with, but you should check that out too. Here with the show notes. So Shawn, Maile, thank you for spending time with us. We really appreciate it. Good to get to know you.
Thank you guys. Thank you for what you're doing as well, because, community building comes in all sorts of different ways. And I think this is awesome. I think this is why Lancaster is so strong, because there's stuff like this going on and people building each other up. So keep up the good work.
And I can only say a good night's sleep is the beginning of everything. I say that truly from my heart. Like my day depends on how I slept last night. So I am all about having a good mattress.
I can confirm that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing good work in our community by giving us a good night's sleep.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great afternoon.
Take care.
You guys too. See ya.
Yep. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's great. Great people. I remember talking with Shawn as they were going through the process of buying the business. And we bought a business 15 years ago, and there's a lot of exciting moments. There's a lot of scary moments. There's a lot of challenging moments. But just their dedication to books and reading and, of course, education. It's a really cool shop, a really cool experience to be part of. And I think, once that sidewalk opens, they're just going to explode.
Yeah.
So,
when we bought our business, AI was just for the movies, like Terminator. And social media was like kind of new still.
Yeah.
For us regular folk.
Yeah, that's true.
It was all the rage for the college folk.
We had MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace. Man, MySpace. Remember your top 8 in MySpace?
Yeah, and you could play music.
You could play music. Yeah. The world probably would have been a lot better if MySpace would have just hung around.
Yeah. just a weird, wild story, 30 seconds. My son plays baseball with a boy whose parents were on a MySpace game show. I don't even know if you called it a game show back then, but there was something called Married on MySpace. It was like a contest that they entered and they won, like a national contest.
Because they got married on MySpace?
They got married, like MySpace gave them like $100,000.
MySpace connections?
They gave them like $100,000 to plan like the wedding, but it was like the wedding of the dreams, but not necessarily their dreams. The fans got to vote. Like, so people on MySpace got to vote for the various things, like the cake and the outfits and all that.
That would be a very dangerous proposition nowadays, I think.
I've known this family for years, like 4, 5, 6 years probably. No clue. Got to talking to them a couple months ago. Yeah, they were the couple married on MySpace.
The grand champions.
Yeah, the grand champions. Yep. I watched the episode, a few of the episodes.
See, imagine married on Instagram.
Right?
Like it wouldn't stick.
Oh, I get you.
Like only like I said just a few minutes ago, like the world would be a better place than MySpace. See, you'll get this one of these days. But that's a long time ago. And they're happily married.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Couple of kids.
All right.
Yep.
Well, Miley prompted a thought of I had one sleep better tip, but I'm going to go off of what Miley said about intermittent fasting. So certainly going to bed, not having eaten rather, at least a few hours, but as much as you can before you go to sleep can do really wonderful things for your body. You almost get like a little mini fast in if you really begin to think about it. But going to sleep on an empty stomach, at least 4 hours prior, you can burn up to 400 calories. And really what happens is your body 100% solely gets to focus on what it needs to do at night. See, if you fill your belly, the body's number one focus is to digest what's in your belly. And it takes away from the brain cleansing and the washing of the toxins that have built up. Your liver doesn't regenerate. I'm speaking some generalities here, and I'm not your doctor, but the science is there, and we write about it in our Sleep Better book. And so study intermittent fasting. There's a lot of great things there. Again, not medical advice, but all of the books will tell you great things, and the doctors do chime in there. But going to sleep on an empty stomach can pay dividends, just not only in calorie burn, but in allowing your body to do what it does best, and that's recharge overnight while you sleep. So we'll get you that tip and more in the Sleep Better book, and we'll mail you a copy for free. GardnersMattressandMore.com/sleep-better.
Very good. Testimonial time. Had a Google review come in, I believe it's yesterday or Saturday, sometime over the weekend. Megan, the name was hidden. Megan said on the Gardeners Google page, came here, Gardeners, on the recommendation of my parents, which we see that often. Parents recommending parents, or no, people recommending parents, parents recommending kids. You know what I was trying to say. Couldn't have been happier with the experience. We knew the exact mattress we wanted to try, and we were promptly greeted by Drew. He asked what brought us in, and after we explained we had just moved and knew which mattress we wanted, he showed it right to us. Drew also made other thoughtful recommendations, but there was absolutely no pressure. There it is on the screen. In the end, we went with our original choice and couldn't be happier. Drew was helpful, friendly, and made the whole process easy. We'll definitely recommend Gardeners to any friends looking for a mattress in the future. So thank you, Megan. Thank you to Megan's parents. Is Chris deciding which emoji he's going to use there? Chris, you want the heart.
Yeah.
Oh, that was him. That was him with the heart. I got you. Yeah. Thank you, Megan. Thank you to all the wonderful Gardeners customers. We appreciate your business.
I would have chosen fire.
No, that's true. Yeah.
Because that's my personality.
Whatever. Fire.
Either way.
Heart. Yep.
All right. That was a great show.
It was a great show.
Really great show. Glad to spend time with Shawn and Maile at Nooks Books and Gallery. Check out all they have going on. Lots of events. Use them as a resource. Like if you need an interesting date night, that could be a lot of fun. Yeah. All right. See you next week. Lancaster Connects. Take care.